I like coming home very much because I think family is one of the essential things a person can have. There is a big question between who is raising the person, society or family, and I think the family plays a very important role in it. I think a family values is something a child takes and then lives with it all his or her life. So I think having a strong family and having a feeling of the family behind my back is something essential and very important that keeps me running.
Mariupol, like many industrial Soviet cities, has been hit hard by the collapse of heavy industry. Up until 1989, there was virtually no unemployment in the region. Most people were employed by large-scale industry in huge factories. State-assisted education and healthcare were all part of the package. Today, unemployment is a major problem. 1 in 3 young people in 1999 had no work. According to a new Money report from UNICEF, more children are being forced to leave school early because of financial difficulties. And the breakdown of a structured society, employment and education, is often mirrored by the collapse of family life. Children and teenagers are increasingly smoking and drinking as much as their older peers. Drug abuse and HIV infection are reaching epidemic levels. Over the last 11 years, 500,000 children aged between 5 and 14 have died from illness or suicide.
I think one of the biggest challenges is the change in expectations. A decade ago, young people coming out of school knew what to expect. People invested in education because there was a clear outcome. Now there's no clear outcome. The educational system itself is under challenge because of underfunding and various other things. And even if you do succeed in getting through the whole school system, it's not at all sure what will happen to you then. Will you get a job? Won't you get a job?
Marina is visiting her old colleagues at the youth newspaper in Mariupol, where she started her career in journalism.
Тук-тук! Здрасте!
Our newspaper was created to help the new generation of children to think more freely, to learn a skill and to develop their minds. It's a clear-cut division now. Those who push for the ways out, those who already have everything, although there's not that many of those, and those that I would call the outsiders.
Yulia is keen to follow in Marina's footsteps and become a journalist. She's been exploring what's happening to young people who have no support or family, who are, in effect, social outcasts. She and her friends are working on a story about street children.
I don't come from a particularly good background myself, but at least I have a house and a family. But that's not the most important thing. What's important is that we are really all the same. These children are no different from us. They are just less fortunate. Their parents are alcoholics or drug addicts, but it makes them no different from us.
Yulia herself is no stranger to hardship. Her mother is dead, and she lives with her grandmother, surviving on very little money.
Are these your friends? Are you hanging around that shop Tishik? Oh, you are Mickey Mouse. Oh, great. Do you remember me? This is Dima, this is Elena. I wasn't particularly concerned or bothered about street children before I started getting involved with them and started talking to them and found out how they live. And now I'm really worried about them.
Denise, you're in my place. Get out of the way. What would you buy if you had lots of money? If I had money, I'd buy a house.
I would buy a kingdom.
I would buy trousers and then some bread and sausage.
If I had lots of money, I would go and buy a home.
He would buy glue to snip.